have Alan Alberani here with us today, and you're a little bit different because you are representing a fascinating artist. Is that correct?
Yes, Rochelle, thank you. I'm representing a world-famous cinematographer.
Oh, cinematographer.
Yeah, his name is Vittorio Storaro.
Okay.
He won 3 Oscars.
Not too shabby.
One of the movies was Apocalypse Now. That was his
Okay.
first Oscar. I think the second Oscar was for Reds with Warren Beatty, and the third Oscar was for The Last Emperor.
Wow. And he's still around today
He's still making movies.
So we can maybe have a 4th Oscar on the list.
It may be possible because he just finished filming 2 years in Iran on the early life of Muhammad.
Oh, wow.
So they're in post-production, and we have yet to see the images from that movie, but I understand from the conversation that he thinks it's one of the best movies that he personally, the imagery that he created, he says it's stunning. So
Wow. Well, I want to see some of this work, so let's take a look.
Certainly.
What do we...
one thing you should know about
Yeah.
Vittorio Storaro is that he's written 6 books.
Oh.
So he's a master of light, color, and elements. So when we see color in film or in print, it has an emotional effect on us. Now, Vittorio studied all the major artists and painters, and he would interpret what he studied from those artists, and he'd bring that into his films. So, for example, in one of the movies, Dick Tracy, he studied the artist Otto Dix. And Otto Dix is very colorful, vibrant characters in his
Yes.
paintings, and he interpreted that and brought
And
that
it came into life in the film.
Exactly. So this is one of his books that he's done over the years.
Okay, here, let me pull this back here so
sure.
you can get a...
And inside of this book is filled with all the images from the movies and descriptions and explanations. And
Are some of the images in here the ones we're about to see?
Certainly in that book.
Well, we'll
And-
definitely be checking that out. So what is this first one here? Can you tell me?
well,
Is this
yes,
photography? It's the...
it's all photography that he did.
But it just doesn't look like a typical photo.
No, it's very special, in fact, that you
Okay.
notice that. I mean, his technique is called a double impression. So this was a Roman history project called Civiltà Romana, and it was done in the late 80s, early 90s. And it took 5 years to develop. They traveled wherever the Roman Empire expanded its reaches. So they went through Lebanon, Turkey, Syria, Greece, of course, Italy.
Okay.
And this is the first time during the filming that Storaro created this double impression technique.
Okay.
So, for example, he'll take a picture of the image that you see there, the Bocca di Verità, and then he would roll the film back, make notes on the first slide or the first negative, and then he would take a picture on top of a picture to create that cinematic effect.
Okay, I want to see some of these other ones.
So,
Oh, is this part of the
this
track?
part, we have thousands of images from this collection. So we have them now broken down into, water fountains, aqueducts, emperors, goddesses, palaces. It's really spectacular.
We have another fountain.
Yeah, that's just stunning. So, we see that as a great product image that could be used here at the licensing show.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons why we're here. Just his technique and his vision, how he's able to imagine these things in his mind before, seeing it in final print. There's just so many. So we're just going through his collection because right now they're on this old Kodak negative. So we're cracking open the negatives and digitizing these images to actually see what's in the collection, because they're literally, it's like an archival dig in his house, because we pull out the boxes
And you
we
never
don't even know what's there. We don't
have
even know what's
another one
there.
of the overlapping ones, which I just...
Yeah. This is what. Yeah. So we have 2 of the Roman emperors. I believe the background is Caesar, and the background image is the sort of scale model of Rome, and that's in the museum in Rome. And so then they position the statues. In this case, there's not a double impression technique.
This isn't the double impression
Right.
technique.
I think coming up in one of the.
Oh, this one. Yeah, this is one I recall.
Right. This is the Emperor Augusto, and this is taken in Syria. The temple is in Syria.
And this isn't Photoshop. He did this on, and that's I think the key difference between nowadays
Exactly.
and
That's the magic of what he was able to create.
the vision he had before.
Right. I mean, today, yes, it's easy to Photoshop an image, but he did that in the camera. And in fact, here we have 3, you could say 3 images, but we have a sun in the background with Augusto and the temple in Syria, which is spectacular.
Let's take a look at it. I know there's a few. Oh.
So it almost looks like a ghostly image portrayed on some of these slides. Very stunning. And it's hard for us to even.
And he got to travel to all these places. Oh, sorry.
Well, yeah, no, absolutely. They traveled to all of these places to capture, the Roman Empire and its reaches during their reign, which is such a significant part of our, current, our culture in a sense. And this is really the first time that this collection has been exposed. I mean, literally, we have scanned only 1,000 images of a potential 20 to 30,000.
You have your work cut out for you.
Well, it's a fun project.
He's very lucky to have you in his corner.
Project.
Thank you so much for
Thank
bringing
you.
these. I mean, like I said,
They're endless.
Yeah. And this
Yeah.
is only the first 1,000.
And we're getting really great response to the show. Yesterday was our first day.
Okay.
We had about 30 people come by and take the time to understand what we're bringing.
Truly, the depth behind
to
it.
understand the artist. And then a lot of the connections we made with apparel. Handbags, the soft side
yes.
handbags, luggage, hard shell luggage, leggings for women, scarves. So we see a great potential for these images to be portrayed in various products that we never thought were possible before.
That is so cool. Well, thank you so much
Thanks
for
so much.
sharing these with
Pleasure.
us. Pleasure to meet you, Alan. And stay tuned for more here at ArtMoose.
Thanks.